Hey everyone, welcome back to Torment, Tides of Numenera. You're in the government square. Last time, after finding a better home for one of our companions, so now we are back to... Well, honestly, this is a new zone, so we're probably going to walk around and get a lot more work, or a lot more jobs to do. But maybe we'll actually find some answers for... actually, let's check real quick. What answers are we looking for? So eventually we need to make our way to the Valley of Dead Heroes. Okay, that's not here. We ran into somebody who was a criminal who had just recently become a citizen who was having problems with his levy, who will probably try to, what is it? Who do we need to talk to on this one? We need to talk to the captain of the levies, so there's one thing. It'd be nice if you could search, like, in areas, you know, like, be able to categorize this by, well, more than just main quests and secondary quests. Let's see. What was this one? Enter the infested fathom. Oh, right, that was in the labyrinth. Yeah, actually, we don't have... The only quest we have here is to talk to the captain of the levies, so we will probably just be generating more work for ourselves, but that's okay. Let's go into this place here. City official. Do you have anything interesting to say?
Yes.
And Aligern, who knows? The woman's expression defies easy definition. It is cool and professional but focused, interested. She nods at you and clasps her hands. I haven't seen you in here before. Before we begin, you should understand where we are. This is the Red Thicket. No one can listen on our conversation here. You can only hear me because I'm speaking to you directly. In other words, no one will ever know what you tell me now in this place. At any rate, have you come to trade? Trade what? I am a knowledge broker, a hunter of information. Come to me with questions, and if I have answers, I will trade them. My pricing is simple, a secret for a secret. The only condition is that it must be one I do not already know, and I should warn you that I already know a great deal. How do I know you won't claim to know a secret you've never heard before? A fair question, but I don't bother with assurances. You can either judge my honesty yourself or take your business elsewhere. What's the catch? Well spotted, there is one, of course, but it is hardly unexpected. Anything you choose to tell me will, of course, be traded to others in due time. In short, if you wish to keep something secret, don't tell it to me. Yeah. Okay.
I'm there, in the shadows.
I mean, maybe we'll, Actually, wait, no. Let's find out. Do I have to offer her something first? Okay, let's say that I'm interested in exchanging secrets. I want to propose something different. I'll trade you information for a secret you find interesting. Secrets about Sage's Cliffs. I don't want to go turning people in. That seems pretty...
I'm ready.
That seems pretty, unworthy. Let's talk to this person. The slim man looks to be in good shape, and though his face remains hidden within his hood, he carries himself with confidence. His clothing exudes something like smoke that makes him look a bit like a ghost, perhaps a man who can't be found if he doesn't want to be. You're Thor Bryn. Pleasure. I'm a merc, head of the Ianthine Spectre Company. What brings you to the Red Thicket? Tell me about the company. We do infiltration mostly, sabotage, assassinations, assorted hostile recovery. Sometimes the city hires us to handle local threats, problematic tribes, roaming predators, you name it. Pretty quiet these days, not like when we get started. Our first big job was a series of assaults in the endless battle. His eyes flicked to the tattoo for an instant. What's the endless battle? We actually know what the endless battle is, but really? Alright, it's basically like it sounds. A fight that's given people like me solid payday for more generations than anyone could count. As far as I heard, it's a scrap between rival factions of the Changing Gods Castoffs. What about, I couldn't tell you. Getting interested in the why of a war always ends up being bad for business. Okay. What's your company doing here? Negotiations. I'm between meetings with a few council representatives. They may want us for some ongoing work. Bit of a bidding war going on right now, to be honest. We're in demand. And there's something in the satisfaction behind that smile that catches your notice. He isn't just happy at the prospect of a solid payday. It's the smile of a man who believes not that everything is going according to plan. This isn't good. It's almost like he recognized this. I don't like that one bit.
All right.
Okay. I may be wrong, but I'm starting to learn. You don't talk to.
Consider it done.
The interesting people are named. Let's see, there's a levy, there's some nanos, some merchants, wealthy townspeople. We've got a couple of buildings in here. We got the Order of Truth, we got the Council Tower. Let's see if there's somebody else we've missed. I have already talked to her. Levy, Sigyn, Council Clerk.
Go.
Let's see. Some children. Okay, let's go and talk to. Got some petitioners. Got Levy. All requests for city documents are handled by the council clerk. Please expect prolonged delays. Great. Let's go talk to him anyway. I don't know if I need any paperwork, but... Behind a lectern, a four-eyed, hairless mutant processes paper with a balletic grace. He's endlessly snapping the elegant fingers of his left hand, and each time the air twists and shimmers, either disgorging a document to be processed or accepting one that he's completed with his ink-stained right hand. Each of his eyes regards a distant object, portals that are opening, preambles and recitals that must be reviewed, his own addenda that must be flawless. One eye twitches in your direction. Exaggerated scorn twists his mouth, and though his eye remains fixed on your face, he gives no verbal acknowledgement. Closest he comes is a faint sigh. At last, after shunting a half-dozen more documents to some distant cubby, he condescends to speak. You must wait, of course, until council matters conclude. His quarter gaze leaves you, his face returning to its former equanimity, and he continues his work, which shows no evidence of slacking, let alone concluding. Actually, not 100% sure what paperwork we'd be looking for, so assure you that my matters are important enough to be worth a moment of your time. They're actually not. I have no idea what I'm going to ask him for, but let's see. The clerk conveys his personal regard for the importance of your matters with a long, loud sigh, but he focuses one of his eyes on you and replies, very well, very well. Let us weigh the worth of your needs, shall we? What is it you want? I'd like to ask about paperwork. Do you have any records about someone named Wren? Oh, now. We go and look up for records about somebody named Wren. Wren. Aha, I knew I'd seen that name. He reads with one eye on the folio he just snatched from elsewhere, but his other eyes, ensuring the council work, carries on uninterrupted. His lips move, but you cannot quite make out his subvocalization. Finally, he closes the folio, snaps his fingers, and sends it back into the archives. There is, of course, a wealth of information, taxes paid, licenses obtained, a letter patent, but you do not strike me as a demographer or city planner. No doubt you seek her grave, to rob it of the treasures of antiquity. I assure you there will be none. She dispersed her wealth mostly in endowment of an institution known as the Hospice. It seems she was a toy maker, a formal commendation issued by the council, an acknowledgement of one who has brought joy to the young hearts of Sage's Cliffs and young hearts to the old. There's nothing more, really. Little is left of a person after 7 centuries. Oh. Okay. Let's ask some general questions. Must have uncovered some fascinating stories about the city and all this paperwork. Naturally. There's this from an ambassador sent to the Steadfast. Today, with great ceremony, the Aeon priest buried a man said to have lived for 277 years. I asked how this graybeard had lasted so long. It was told as follows. 300 years ago, there was a painting of a spectacular beauty hung in the Durkal, a relic from before the Ninth World. For reasons unknown, the work was incomplete. The Amber Pope believed that if finished, it would reveal a truth about human nature that eluded all intellectual inquiry. He proclaimed that whatever painter could complete it would receive a cipher that would enable him to live for 250 more years. Great artists flocked to the Durkal to examine the masterpiece, but when they saw it, none dared lift a brush. At last, a young whitewasher approached, carrying brushes and rollers and buckets of paint. I could finish this, he declared. The Amber Pope nodded, and the boy flung an entire bucket of paint across the canvas. The blank region was filled, but the painting was splattered with white, its majesty gone. The Pope held to his vow and bestowed longevity upon the whitewasher. He was, however, born to the torture pits below Durkal, where he remained until that very day when at last his long life ceased. Yeah, that's a cheery story. Okay. That was interesting. I thought we would be sending her forward in time, not back in time. But it's nice to know she lived a long and prosperous life. Excuse me. This woman is dressed much like the levies who flank her, but unlike them, her expression is somber and alert. Her hair is cut short, and the corners of her eyes wrinkled with crow's feet. A little swarm of mechanical drones circles around her, buzzing messages in her ears. She whispers replies in return, and every so often one of them whisks away, disappearing into the city. What is it, citizen? No, you're the one they call a Don. I heard you were in the city. They call me a Don? I didn't know that. It's been 10 years since your last visit. I was too young to know you then, but the drones remember. Or they remember me. You kept to your own affairs, but everywhere you went, the city held its breath. People deferred to you, even the ones with power and influence. You look the same as you do now, exactly the same. I want to know why, and if you don't mind telling me, I want to know what you're doing in Sages now. I'm trying to escape a creature that's hunting me. Smoking tendrils, grasping talons, a tower's nebulous shape. I've seen it, but only through the eyes of a drone. Not long ago, it killed a man in the streets, a man with the same mark you bear. If anyone else knew, there'd be panic, even if it's only hunting people like you. I haven't told anyone, not even the council. What is it you wanted? I met a levy in Cliff's Edge that's stalking a man named Fenzin. It wants an extra year of his life. It wants what? Sometimes the levies go wrong. They take a bad year from a citizen and turn out flawed. We never let them live when they get like that. You've seen the little talismans they carry, the symbols of the year that made them? If the year is bad enough, they become that talisman shaped in flesh, monsters that hide in the city and try to bring about the horrors that would have been. You can tell the Fenzin he's safe. I've sent a squad to bring in the levy. He'll never see it again. Okay. You look a lot like someone I met in the Fifth Eye. Was she a scarred peltist wedded to her blade, fresh from the endless battle? I wouldn't insult you that way. The woman I saw was a younger version of you. Actually, she was young with a chorus of whispering voices all around her. Then I know who she was. She was the woman who haunted me when I was a girl, the woman I was supposed to become. For as long as I can remember, I felt as though this other woman was taking shape inside me. When I was a girl, I'd gaze at myself in the looking glass, and every day I seemed less like me and more like her. I don't remember when I abandoned my family, but I couldn't have been more than 10 or 12. They seemed like strangers to me. I couldn't even remember who they were. Started hearing stories about other girls like me, older girls, younger girls. I sought them out, learned everything I could. All the ones I met went mad, and they never survived past their 20th year. It wasn't always the same death. Sometimes it was sickness or an accident, or they ended their own lives, but somehow they always died. It was fate, and it was mine too. But you survived. I cheated. When I was old enough to become a citizen, to sacrifice a year to create a levy, I went straight to the Order of Truth, and I told them I wanted to donate as many years as I could. I didn't think it would work, but what choice did I have? When they started taking the first few years, I aged closer to 20. Each time I thought I would die. And then the levy that was born for my 20th year, it was a monster. They tried to make me stop, but I refused. I made them go on. I burned through my 20s and beyond, and with every year I lost, I felt that other woman inside me weakening, pleading, dying. I laughed when they burned the years away. When I walked into the Order of Truth, I was a teenage girl. When I walked out a few hours later, I was a middle-aged woman, but I was free. How long has this been happening to women in the city? Centuries, I think. The earliest reference I could find was around the time of Chila, but it probably goes back even further. There was an Aeon priest about 80 years ago. He thought he'd make a name for himself by discovering the cause. He found that it only affects women and sages, never in the outlying villages. He thought it might be caused by some sort of Numenera underneath the city, but was never able to prove anything. What about that levy? It was death. Not death the way it's personified in stories, but death like it really is. A bloated thing with festering sores, vomiting blood and pus and excrement from every orifice. Even the Aeon priests were terrified. They burned it into a pile of ash. Cheery. Okay, so we could go. Okay, so there's the Council Tower, Order of Truth, Circus Minor. I'm gonna go to the Order of Truth, but first,
Done.
it occurred to me before I forget. There was that
Consider it
guy
done.
that we need to take care of that whole airship situation with Eritis, the guy who stole an airship, and we weren't able to deal with it because we didn't have space in our party. And before we find some other interesting person to join our group, I want to go ahead and take care of it. So since we got a space open. But I need to get to Cliff's Edge, I think. Yeah.
Like a whisper.
Let's go here.
Ready?
All right.
And over here. Look like there are 4 people in our group again. I think it may have just been somebody who was running in the same direction as us, but still a little weird. Yep,
I'm
there's
there,
just 3.
in the shadows.
I still have not figured out
One
what to do with that
moment,
guy.
And it's done.
Let's see. Where is he? Ah, he's down here.
Yes.
Oh, he's not here. Wait, where'd he go? Airships have been known to be uncrashable due to their leisurely cruising speeds and simplified controls. He was right here. Huh, okay. Okay, so I want to ask you about somebody. Let's talk about this guy over here. He's the leader of one of the slave families, has a number of opinions, that boy. Some he shares, some he doesn't, but he's got them all the same. Her fingers steal to an odd beat along the chain, a snarling head the color of amber. You don't seem to like Lord Vunkin much. Can he be trusted or not? Oh, yeah, I really want the answer to this.
I'll remember that.
Oh, stat pool spent on effort restored. That's usually... Oh, because I did a critical success. She presses her lips together, eyes flickering between the distant lord and you. Yovakoi, blood on his mother's side. I'll not turn my back on a girl in trouble, but I have no time for disgusting abhumans either. I'm not alone in that. If people knew what he was, it would be the end of his politicking, for sure and certain. Oh.
Here
Okay,
we go then.
so I didn't find the guy I was looking for, but I may have just found an answer to... That's weird that Aridus isn't here anymore. But let's go talk to Lord Bunkin again. Hey, you. There he is, the traitor to his own kind. Will you tell us where the Stichus is, or will you let more people die? I've learned that you're part Yovakoi. Yovaki? Abandon your hunt for the Stichus, or I'll tell the crowd. You use my family's shame against me, you poisonous hypocrite, and I'm sure you think you're noble for doing it. You know they'll kill me if they find out. Do you really want that on your conscience? I won't have it on my conscience as long as you do as I say and stop hunting the Stichus.
I'll remember that.
Very well, I'll call it off, but this is not the end for us, friend. You will regret crossing me. Okay. Citizens, it seems we are making no headway in the hunt for the Stichus, so I'm returning home. I suggest you all do the same. That's right, he lied to you. So what else are we doing today? I need a drink. Mob justice, more like mob failure. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, mob,
Here we go then.
well, shoot. I hope I didn't wreck that quest by not helping when I could have, but maybe we'll help with this guy instead.
Doing it now.
Although we still don't have a place to send him.
Doing it now.
Okay. Hey, we took care of that. I had a talk with Lord Vunkin. He agreed to call off the hunt for your Stichus. Thank you. I thought nobody could tell the slave families what to do. That means the Stichus can stay here now. We'll keep him fed and out of sight. It was the right thing to do. And we appreciate it. Here, take this. I scrounged it a while back and never found a use for it, but you probably know all about these things.
Of course.
That little girl's got, no. Nope.
Fine.
Done enough of,
All right.
she has an object that I need to complete another quest, but it's not
Fine.
it doesn't seem like a terribly important quest, so I'm gonna not do it. Because I would rather not have to go and steal something from a little girl. That sounds awful. Hey Finzen, we took care of that problem for you. Ha! You earned that. Oh, you should have seen it. Levies came for our friend not 10 minutes ago. Clopped him, bound him, dragged him off. Levies arresting levies. Would have paid buckets of shins to see that in the old days. Clopped? Yeah, you know, bounced, bumbered, thumped him upside the head. Probably reducing him to parts as we speak. Oh, that's awful. And back to the bakery, maybe. Lots of people in there this time of day. Lots of pastries need decorating, you know? Or maybe I'll go for a stroll now that the streets are safe again, eh? Well, that doesn't make me feel particularly good. Okay, so... seems like every quest I finish, it's going to be in the worst possible way. Seems like there probably would have been a better way to finish that quest, but... Anyway, let's find out. Okay, so...
Here we go then.
So the guy with the airship is up here. Oh, there's Aridus. Good.
Consider
Good,
it
good,
done.
good. Well, oh, and look at that. Hang on. We leveled up too. Okay, so tier 2. We can increase edge, effort, ability of skill, increase stat pools. Let's do... I can increase my infused weapon, or I could... nope. Or I can increase my skill. Yeah, it seems like we really need this. I would like to have the skill, but seems like, well, actually, wait, hang on a sec. Didn't we also pick up? Didn't the that woman that we talked to, the other Castoff, she taught us a new skill? But now that I'm looking at it, I don't see it. So maybe I'm just imagining that. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'm just imagining that. So let's go ahead and level up. I'm going to level up this ability here. So what happens if I increase it? Plus a 0% on attacks. So what happens if I... Doesn't mention it. I think it's going to do more damage though. So I increase that. Yeah, so it's going to give me plus 15% on attacks. Hopefully it'll help me do bonus damage as well. Well, hopefully
Like
it will.
whisper.
And Kina also leveled up. Okay, let us see what we can increase here. Warp dash, didn't use that at all. Could make her faster. Like, she could run faster, which seems like it would be a good use. Can also make her better at weapons, which should give her a bonus to hit with light weapons. She's really been kind of our best person in combat, so I'm tempted to go and pick that one. Yeah, let's just go ahead and max her out. And, okay, Eritis. I'll get his forgiveness or die trying. Wow.
I'll remember that.
Enough, the airship master says, hands clenched before him, as though he means to seize Eritis by his doublet and toss him from the launch platform. You stole my airship. It's too late for apologies. Are you sure? I can at least make 3 more if it will help. But Master Renio isn't listening. I demand compensation. My vessel, my source of livelihood, snatched by this vagrant. I require justice. I will take it in the form of service. Can he pay off his debt? Eritis, you owe him a debt. You should work it off. Is there anything else? Is there another way we can resolve this? I would prefer that the guilty party make amends, but I would accept monetary compensation for the losses. I doubt the young thief has money at hand, however.
I'll remember that.
I'd consider bringing the matter of compensation before the council clerk, but we've had a number of arguments in the recent past. I doubt he'll help me. I'll speak with him. Really? Well, good luck. This gentleman is somewhat difficult to work with. Yeah, I know where to find the clerk.
Fine.
Yep. He's really, I just can't wait to talk to him again. He's so friendly and helpful. But I will do it anyway. Okay.
I'm going.
So that was a little bit more of a roundabout way of getting to Eritis. But, it seems like we still might actually be able to fix it. Well, let's see. I actually have some intellect points left, so
Here we go then.
if I have to persuade him, then I can do that too. Hey, what is it this time? I'd like to ask you about paperwork. I'm trying to resolve a legal dispute between 2 men named Eritis and Renio. Eritis crashed an airship of Renio's. Can you help? Do you think that because I can make a document vanish with a snap of my fingers, I can do the same for a civil suit? It's not so easy. The only relief the city could provide would be taking over a rightus liability for the accident through a certificate of indemnity. But I assure you the council does not take such a liability willy-nilly, nor does it grant the clerk discretion to fritter away the city's money. Only someone much more important than you or I could persuade the council to do such a thing. Have you such a friend? Who's Pillai? Oh, that's right. She was the woman in the underbelly that I helped. Yeah, she'll help me. I suppose she has the discretion to authorize such relief, provided she can find a suitable justification. It scribbles a message down and sends it off through a portal. A reply turns with admirable speed, and you can see from it an elegant script that it was dashed off by a hurried hand. Whereas assuming law and equity, clerk mutters. Seems Pillai found adequate justification. Oh, so she did actually owe me a favor. Now, is there something else you need, or can I return focus to my work? What exactly are you doing with all these papers? Taking them from where they were to where they must be by bending space between, and as they pass my lectern, I assure that they are properly prepared. To the body politic, I serve as heart, kidney, and nervous system all in one. Before I undertook this role, the council employed layers and layers of logothetes, scriveners, registrars, and couriers, each corruptible, vulnerable, insular. The Mimivirus tendrils grew through the cracks in that teetering edifice, but now there's only myself. Had I not come to the office, I wonder who would rule the city. Wow. Okay. He seems important. Okay, so we will be able to solve that one. But let us head off to the Order of Truth and see what's there. Oh, that's nice looking. Okay, well this place is cool looking. Salamari. Oh, that's right. We also promised Aligern that we would come here. Because he has someone to talk to. Oh, there's Calistej. Yeah, we'll talk to her. She was in our party at the very beginning, but left because she and Aligern don't get along. It's hard to believe that there are people that don't get along with Aligern. Let's see. So we got stuff and people.
Like a whisper.
It didn't actually say. It did not mention. He asked us to go and talk to somebody, but it didn't pop up as a quest. So, who was that? Who did we need to talk to, Aligern? Want to talk about you again? Not my favorite topic. Fine, ask. Oh wow, there's all kinds of stuff we can ask about. Oh yeah, who's your friend at the Order of Truth? Orth Fang. He does a little research for me from time to time, personal work. You said things happened that made you leave your village. What things? I'm not ready to talk about it yet. Okay, tell me about Aeon Priests again. You already know I hate them. What more should I say? They turn their backs on me when I need them the most. They're lazy, craven, and turn away from truth if it scares them. They care far less about knowledge than holding on to their positions. Okay, maybe a little bit later we'll ask him about everything. But hey, here's Calistej. How are you doing, Calistej?
Ah, you're still traveling with the ambling mood dampener. Good. One shouldn't become too ebullient.
A handful of words, and you've reminded me how grateful I am not to see you every day. And you, Aligern, indeed, the sum happiness of my sisters has improved dramatically. Now, Castoff, if you wish to speak to me, I'll need to retain my sunny disposition, by which I mean lose this wretch, if you want me more amenable to your words. Wow, so she won't even talk to us until we get rid of him.
Yes.
What is this thing? Small wire pyramid sits on a base of polished wood. Lying inside the pyramid is a dull sphere of silverish metal. Examine the sphere. Suspended in the wired cage, the sphere is almost perfectly sized to fit in your palm. The gaps in the wiring mesh are large enough for you to reach through, though not large enough to pull the sphere out. Examine the base. Appears to be made of a slab of lurid redstone. On closer inspection, you recognize it as petrified wood of some kind. An inscription has been written on the base in front of the pyramid. Touch the sphere. You extend your hand towards the sphere. The thinner strands along the front side of the cage retract toward the thicker frame edges, creating an opening large enough for the sphere to fit through. I'm not going to go and steal their sphere.
Yes.
Just because something can be taken doesn't mean you should. Okay, so I'm looking for Worth Fang. Man of Ling Tong. Okay, for all of that, I don't actually see the guy he wants us to talk to. There don't seem to be any other doors in here either. Okay, Kalistej. Okay, we got Snurf, we got Lan Yuring, got Pico. Oh, Pico's that guy we helped. Salmieri. There's us. Man of Lenting. Well, tell you what, let's see how Pico's doing. I really like it here. Oh, good. I'm glad. That means that we actually helped somebody. Okay. Okay, there's like 7 people here, and the one person I need to talk to isn't here. He kind of looks like he's in charge, or at least he's in the front. Priest is tall, thin, and dressed only in black. Narrow slashes of oil decorate his unlined skin like letters in an unknown tongue. His eyes are harried, but alive with intelligent humor. They land on you with a tiny flicker of recognition. Then his gaze moves towards Aligern and hardens. Oh good, no one's shouted at me for hours. I've already said everything I need to. Anything else would be a waste of breath. What's going on here? You're looking at the Men of Tan Liang. Oh, men, not man. Head puppet of the Order of Truth. More interested in where the next Shin is coming from than, say, doing any actual research. This may shock you, and it shouldn't because we've had this talk before, but research into the Numenera takes time. Orth needs a quiet place to work. He needs food and bed, and none of this is free. Like it or not, and I know you don't, the slave families demand cooperation for their shins, and if we don't maintain the levy network, if we don't play their games, that funding goes away, and so does the Order of Truth. Maybe that would be for the best. Min ignores Aligern's snort of approval and turns to you. Maybe. You know, I used to have time for my own work. It wasn't always politics and dinners and polite requests. We'll find the answers you're waiting for. I'm not asking for gratitude, I'm asking for patience. Then he turns to us. I recognize you. It's been 10 years? I don't think we've ever spoke. You were the one visiting Salmieri all the time, working on some sort of organic machine technology. You're mistaken. I've never been here before. Oh. What brings you to the Order of Truth? Where's Orth Fang now? Looking into Aligern's problem, I think he mentioned leaving a note for you on his work table in case you stopped by, but he was in a hurry. How's Pico settling in? Oh, you know something. Oh, you know him. Good kid. Really good kid. He hasn't let an hour go by without exclaiming over something he's found in a book and insisting everyone take a look. Kid's gonna do well here. Oh, that's great. Can you tell me about your work? Heh, that's a big question, even on the best days. I specialize in mechanical Numenera, intelligent or not, but I haven't had much time for research since I started managing our branch of the Order. Okay. Come back anytime.
All right.
So there's a work table that has a note on it. This machine is a chaotic assemblage of metal tanks and tubing. The work table, mounted with spare parts, stands beside it and connected by wires to an oddly familiar sarcophagus and other devices. Pick through the spare parts on the table. You sort through the jumbled components on the table. There aren't many, nor are there duplicates. There appear to be spare parts for the machine. Okay. I'm looking for a note on a table. Maybe this? The desk is cluttered with scrawled notes, piles of paper, and worn books. The owner was either extremely disorganized or left in a hurry. Aligern steps closer to the desk. He growls in frustration. This is where Orth Fang usually works. If he left a message for me, it must be here somewhere. Before you have a chance to examine the mess, Aligern leans forward and plucks a folded note from the top of the pile. Orth is a paranoid bastard. He writes all of his messages in code. Looks like this one's for me. He breaks the wax seal and scans the note. As he reads, his face grows tight with fury. Fang took my frame and left. He said it's not safe here. He wrote more about my tattoos, and never mind, he's not here. We can talk about it some other time. Ah, interesting.
Doing it now.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is probably a good place to break, so when we come back, we'll end up talking to the rest of the Aeon Priests here. And then we'll give Eridas the good news that we've gotten him off the hook about the airship, and then we'll go and take a look and see what other things we need to finish up before we leave here, but I think we probably will be leaving here soon. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Take care.